Have you ever bought or thought about buying an NFT and wondered, what exactly am I getting? Today, we're going to break down what intellectual property rights really mean when it comes to NFTs. And I promise, by the end of this, it's going to make a lot more sense. But here's the big question. When you buy an NFT, what exactly are you owning? Is it like buying a painting where you can hang it on your wall and do whatever you want with it? Or is it more like getting a ticket to a concert, where you get access to something but don't really own the event? Let's start with the first distinction. Ownership versus usage rights. When you buy an NFT, you own the token itself. Think of it like owning the deed to a house. That deed says you own the house, but it doesn't mean you can suddenly turn it into a restaurant without getting permits and approvals. In the same way, buying an NFT means you own that unique digital asset, but it doesn't automatically mean you have the right to do whatever you want with the intellectual property. So, what does that mean? Well, you can display your NFT, sell it, or trade it. But if you're thinking about printing 1,000 t-shirts with the image of your NFT and selling them online, that's where things get tricky. Just because you own the NFT doesn't necessarily mean you own the intellectual property rights to the artwork or content itself. The artist's rights is where intellectual property or IP comes into play. Most NFTs are tied to a piece of creative work, art, music, or even a short video clip. Now, just because you own the NFT, it doesn't mean the creator is giving up their copyright. In fact, in most cases, the artist or creator still holds the copyright to their work. It's like buying a limited edition print of a famous painting. You can hang it in your living room and enjoy it, but you don't suddenly own the rights to the painting itself. The creator often decides what kind of rights they're giving to the buyer. Some NFTs come with limited usage rights. Maybe you are allowed to use the image as a profile picture or display it in the virtual galleries, but that doesn't give you the full control. You're not buying the freedom to reproduce, distribute, or profit from the original content unless it's explicitly stated. And that's something a lot of people misunderstand. This brings us to licenses and terms of use. Where you can buy an NFT, you're usually entering into a kind of digital contract. This contract can give you specific rights, like the ability to use the artwork commercially or just for personal enjoyment. It's like renting a car. You get to drive it, but there are rules about how far you can go, whether you can take it off-road, or if you can loan it to someone else. Some NFT creators give buyers commercial rights, meaning you can use the art to create merchandise, prints, or even develop it into a brand. But others don't, and it's super important to read the fine print before making any assumptions. If you're not careful, you could end up paying thousands of dollars for an NFT only to find out you don't have the right to do much with it beyond showing it off to your friends. Now, let's talk about derivative works. This is when you take an existing piece of art and modify or remix it to create something new. In the world of NFTs, this can get complicated. If you buy an NFT, does that give you the right to create derivative works? Like turning a digital painting into a 3D animation or remixing a song? The answer is not unless the creator explicitly gives you those rights. Again, think of it like owning a book. Just because you own a copy of Harry Potter doesn't mean you can start writing sequels or creating new stories in that universe. You need the permission from the rights holder, in this case, the NFT creator. If they allow derivative works, great. But if not, you would get into legal trouble if you try to create something new based on that NFT without permission. Here's something cool that's specific to the world of NFTs. Royalties through smart contracts. In the traditional art world, when an artist sells a painting, they make money once and that's it. If that painting later gets sold for millions, the artist doesn't see any of that profit. But with NFTs, smart contracts can be programmed to automatically give the creator a cut every time the NFT is resold. Think of it like getting a royalty check every time your song plays on the radio. This is a huge win for creators because it allows them to benefit from the future appreciation of their work. It also changes the dynamics of ownership, because when you buy an NFT, you're agreeing to these terms. So even if you sell it for a profit, a portion of that goes back to the original creator. Another thing to consider is whether the NFT you're buying is part of the public domain or under a Creative Commons license. Some creators release their work into the public domain, meaning anyone can use it however they want, no strings attached. Others might use a Creative Commons license, which allows certain types of use, but still protects the original work from being exploited commercially. It's like when you see a royalty-free photo online. You might be allowed to use it in your blog or social media, but that doesn't mean you can sell it as part of a product without permission. Always check what kind of rights are attached to the NFT you are interested in. And if you are a creator thinking about minting your own NFTs, you need to be aware of your intellectual property rights. You can decide what kind of rights to give to buyers, and you can protect your work with copyright laws. But it's also important to make those terms clear upfront, so there's no confusion about what buyers are getting. Think of it like hosting a dinner party. You set the rules. If you don't want people bringing outside food or rearranging your furniture, you let them know. The same goes for NFTs. Be clear about what rights you're offering and protect the integrity of your work. So, the next time you think about buying or selling an NFT, ask yourself, what am I really getting? Am I just getting the token? Or do I have actual rights to the content? Understanding intellectual property rights in the world of NFTs can save you a lot of headaches down the road. Whether you're an artist, collector, or just curious about NFTs, knowing what's on the table and what's not helps you make smarter decisions. Here's a video that you may also be interested in. If you found this helpful, give it a like, subscribe for more, and let me know in the comments if you have ever run into any IP issues with NFTs. See you around at Asset Tech.